Hello everyone, another edition of the Auto Market. In this video, we focus on the critical steps to peace in Palestine based upon my background and experience in constitutional law. Now, and look at the stage that we're at right now in terms of achieving peace in Palestine. Thanks to the protests, international protests, uh, many countries have initiated the recognition of a Palestinian state, but this is by far is not sufficient to achieve peace in Palestine. Continued protest will not in itself achieve the necessary peace because the people in power in Palestine, not in Palestine rather, but the people in power who are responsible for war and genocide, crimes against humanity, they lack empathy for basic humanity. They fail to appreciate the axiom that we are all God's children and we should not be inflicting this type of horrific genocide, terribleness on our fellow human beings. So these are the steps. So now we have steps. One is the recognition of a Palestinian state. Step two, which is extremely critical, is the recognition of a government in exile. Now, the reason why that is so critical is that before peacekeepers cannot arrive in Palestine without a government which is going to ask for those peacekeepers. This is basic international law. And we know that Israel is certainly not going to be requesting peacekeepers. So in order for there to be peacekeepers in Palestine, there needs to be a government in exile, recognized, internationally accepted in the international community that can speak for the Palestinian people. So step two is a government in exile. A government of exile is basically would need to be representatives that both not only the international community recognize, but also Palestinians themselves. And in order to achieve that, there needs to be a coming together of Palestinians around the world in their various exiled communities to begin to discuss a form of government, a form of transition, a governance structure to speak for the Palestinian both in Palestine and abroad, to be recognized as the spokespeople for of a Palestinian state that has been recognized by more and more countries around the world. So the government exile, in order to deal with this type of genocide that we're seeing right here before us, with all this rubble and all this craziness and disarray, there needs to be a government in exile. A government exile based upon a discussion. First of all, there needs to be a discussion about the constitutional options, the form of government of this government exile, the style of government, all these different forms that a government exile can take. These need to be brought together by people in the Palestinian community who have scholars, particularly people who have legal expertise, in order to discuss and to develop a document, a legal document, a constitutional document that can then be the basis of electing Palestinians to this government of exile. So you need a constitutional document. Then, even before you can have elections, you need to then, after you have a constitutional government, not a constitutional government, but a constitutional legal document, you then need to call elections. Before you can call elections, you need to have a a, a ideally a commission, an elections commission of people, of various experts around the world that can monitor the election of a new Palestinian government of exile. So you need a government of exile. First of all, as I mentioned, it has to be, you need to, Palestinians and people around the world who support Palestinians need to start to talk about the legal basis of a government of exile, then followed by an elections commission. An elections commission that would monitor the election of Palestinians to this government of exile. And then after the election takes place, which is monitored by various international experts in monitoring and govern elections to make sure it's done safely, then after you have that, then the elections takes place, then you have the elected representatives who are there to then be in the position to ask for international peacekeepers.
Oh my God, that's so good. Okay.
And once you have they can ask for international peacekeepers, and then, once the international community recognizes this government of exile, and they ask for international peacekeepers, then those peacekeepers can then come to Palestine and then start to be the basis of separating the inflicted Palestinian community in Palestine from the Israeli forces, which are causing what we see here before us. So these are the critical steps. So recognition of a Palestinian state. 2, government in exile. 3, international peacekeepers. But in order to get from the Palestinian state to international peacekeepers, you need a government of exile, which includes a constitutional document. It needs to include a basis of an elections monitoring committee that can then oversee the election of representatives for the government of exile that can then speak for the Palestinians as recognized by the international community, and then ask for international peacekeepers that so many protesters around the world desire in order to stop the continuing destruction that we see before us. If you have any insight in this or comments about these steps, do you like them? Do you don't like them? Make your comments below. If you support the initiative of a Palestinian Center for Peace and Governance, then go to the link below and make a donation so that there can be hopefully a document which can be the basis of a constitutional government in Palestine that is able to then call for peacekeepers and stop the genocide. So thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe to this channel if you want more videos like this one. Thanks for watching. Another edition of The Market, where we mostly talk about food, but sometimes talk about critical social issues, human rights, Canadian sovereignty, and these type of issues. Thanks for watching.